Hello, this is Lolly. Welcome back. I am going to make a cover today for my 2021 planner, which, if you're following along, it's been this craft theme. I love it. Give you a link down below to the entire series. You can see I've really gotten my work area completely dirty. So in order to make a custom planner cover, I am going to use this blue turquoise, which is a kraft-tex material. You can see I don't have much of this left, but I have another roll, so it will work out. So what I'm thinking, almost, is that it would come around this way. Oh my goodness, I might be able to get it with this, and then it would wrap around this way. So the question is, oh, that's almost perfect. Oh my gosh. I was going to measure everything out, and here's what I was thinking, is that I need to make sure it's just a pinch wider than my cover, which is 8.5 inches tall. So I would make it like 8 3/4 possibly. And I'm going to get a pencil and write that down. So I keep scraps whenever I make projects. So 8 3/4, and that's the height. And then if you look at this, if you want to see how tall it is for your spine, fully relaxed, it is 2 inches tall, but I know I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shrink it down. So maybe 1.5 inches would be as high as I would want to allow. So what I was thinking was, because this is very flexible, and I did another traveler's notebook with it and it works fine, but I was thinking of putting an extra strip right along the spine. So if I did 1.5, that would be fine to do a 1.5 inch, reinforcement right there. I think I might just go with what I have here. This length seems fine. How tall is it? It's 10, so I could trim off the bottom and that would be just fine. So if I give myself room there, I think I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to trim off this one section down here. I will give you a measurement for this just in case. And this is about 18 1/4 inches. I was thinking when I measured how much I was going to need, I was going to give myself an extra inch because it's always easier to trim off an extra inch than to try and add one on. So let's get this trimmed to 8 3/4. Now, when I trim off on the long end, I look for this one here. I don't know if you can tell, but there's always one end that is slightly where the ink, when they dyed it, it didn't quite come out right. So I trimmed that off and I squared it up because one of the ends was a little crooked. And there's my extra spine reinforcement. I just have to figure out where I want to put that. Now, so this, since this is 5 1/4, technically I might be able to go in 5 1/4, right, and glue it there. Let's see how that's going to look. So what I'm going to do is clip that in place so I can think about it and see if that's what I want. It's just a pinch shorter than what I need. Okay, so, and is that where I want it? I think so. Okay, so I'm going to put that on. Actually, I'm going to slide it over just maybe 1/8 inch this way. So I'm going to actually use some Fabri-Tac to adhere that. And then I'm thinking, since this is a craft themed journal, I might want to just do top stitching all the way around just to give it a little extra pizzazz, just a little something, not sure. Been thinking about it and I've been having crafty dreams about it, but I haven't really come to the big conclusion on the sewing thing yet. So I also want to do my corners here, so I'm going to use the 1/4 inch because that is what my journal is. Okay, so I said I was going to move this over just a pinch, 5 3/4 maybe, or just 1/8 inch over. Okay, so let's get the Fabri-Tac out and let's get that adhered. what I'm going to do, since this is pinned down, I'm going to slide these over and glue this side here so I can get it adhered. And then I will go through and do the edges. But this way I know it's not going to slide on me. I could also top stitch the spine, but I don't need to do that because, like I said, Fabri-Tac is permanent. It will hold. And I'm going to have a couple, some eyelets in the back here, which will allow me to insert my elastics. And so those are also going to hold this spine piece right where I want it. And it is a little bit shorter, just a pinch on this end, but that's okay. Then I won't see it so much from the top. Okay, that is good enough. Now I want to show you the trim I bought. And so when this is closed like this, I thought this would be really cute to put right here. Oops, the pretty side up, with the tassels just kind of maybe hitting the edge right there. And I guess I like this, and I'm not sure that I would really want to top stitch the whole thing. And at this point, before you do anything else, you could put a narrow pocket here, and you could put a pocket here, or like this. Totally up to you, but I don't think I'm going to. Let's go ahead and mark this for the eyelets. Let's see, I want this to be pretty close to the top. I want this to get as close to the top as I can. So I usually only go in about 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to put my ruler at 1 and mark at 1/2, because that helps me. I don't like marking the end of the ruler, if that makes sense. Let's see, we said this is 1 1/2. I want 2 holes here, so I'm going to come in, let's see, 3/8 here from that side and 3/8 from here. That should work. Let's do the same thing here. We measured a 1/2 inch in, and then we did 3/8 inch in from each side of this. Let's see if that, now we're going to use the small eyelets, so I might be able to get closer to the top. Yeah, a 1/2 inch away from either end is too far in. I've done it at 1/4 before, so let's do that. Okay, I'm going to punch holes. I'm going to use the smaller of the two, which is this one, and it is the 1/8 hole punch, so I'm going to do that. Now, if you decide to top stitch yours, you will definitely need to do that before putting the eyelets in, because the eyelets will interfere with machine stitching. Okay, now let's get the eyelets set in on that, and let's see here. We need to switch this over to, okay, I have this set on C4. Correction, I mean I have that set on C3. So now let's figure out what color eyelets we want, and I want to bring this back in too, because that may influence my decision. I could also use a combination, you know, more than one color. Let's just pick one. Oh, the lime green would be really cute too. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I'm gonna go lime green, or one of each. How's that? I'll use 1 lime and 1 blue on each end here. See what I think. I'll put it in there. That's cute. And then we want to put a blue one next to it. Rotate and do the same thing here. All right. Now I think what I'm going to do, so you see that's the front. The back has this inside here with those. I'm not sure if I can like erase these. You won't see them once the journal is really in place. Okay, so it's going to get folded over like this. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the whole thing assembled and the inserts in before I put this on there, because if I decide it's too long and I want to take off 1 inch, then this will already be on there and it'd be hard to do. The other thing is I want to do this floppy ribbon closure. I mean, it's pretty wide, and I might trim it right down the middle. So we'll see. Okay, thinking. Okay, so let's get this strung with elastic, and I'm going to use these dental flossers to get my elastic in the holes. I know you can't see that. With this, basically, I need to have enough to start a knot. This is 2mm wide elastic, so I need to have enough to have a knot, come up, across, back down, and over here to this other hole and tie a knot again. So that's how much I would need, but I'm actually going to do this twice so that I have 2 elastics in this hole and 2 here. I'm just going to double it, even though I know I'm not doing 2 knots, I'm doing 1. So I'm going to start, going to go through this hole and leave out enough to tie. So the short ones, the short elastics, are seen from the outside. The tall elastics are seen on the inside. Come back up here. And there's something else I like to do before I get carried away. And I like to take one of these split rings, put it on there, and then go back in the hole up here. And that is in case I want to hang a charm, it will already be ready for me to have a place to hang a charm. Okay, now normally all I have to do is come down here and tie it off and make sure these are tight enough to really hold my journals in place. But since I want to do 2 elastics, I need to go through this whole process again, and then I will snug everything up. But in order to get back in this hole, you see how it would be really hard because there's already something in here? I'm going to put the dental floss in here and then thread that through. It's kind of like a needle threader, and pull it through. And thank you, Julie, for that dental floss. That's a great idea. And I'm going to hold this so it doesn't go through. Okay, now we've got that. I need to go back up through this hole. Same thing. Put this in the hole, the direction I want to go. Okay, snug that up. I was using button thread to do this very thing, and then Julie sent me this floss, and oh, what a difference that makes. Now I can go back through here again, which I think I will. See how we're getting all frayed? It's another reason why it's hard to get that back through. So that's the last one. Now all I need to do is tie it off, and you see it's going to bow the Fabri-Tac, but that's understandable because it's just tight, you know, and then the journals will keep it flat. But see, you do want that kind of strength there. This one here is too weak, so I need to tighten that one. Okay, this one's still floppy. I'm going to tighten this one up here. Okay, so I'm going to tie this knot, and then I will come back and decide if I want to cut off the excess. I'm going to wait till I get all my journals in place before I cut off any excess. I will put it up to there. How's that? Now one thing I could do is tie the knot down here and then have these dangles here, and I could hang charms from them if I wanted to. So I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to put my journals in here and check out and see how long this whole journal is and whether that's good enough. So I want my calendar pretty close to the front. So find your centers, put that in one of the elastics right there. And then from there, I kind of want to go light, dark, light, dark. There's my brain purge. For those of you who've been asking about the brain purge, it's my own personal file. The calendar I have as a free file for you. Now I have 2 of these left, and I have 3 of these, but this one, this pocket, is going to go over this. Find the center right there. And then the last elastic is for the junk journal. Find the center. Oh, the center is where the envelope is, so I can go either way on that. Okay, so that is my journal. The cover looks great. Let's put this back in there. And do I want that any shorter? Maybe I'll leave it. I think I'll leave it because as it expands, this can move around. I think these are fine. So what I will do is I will trim these off and then I will, singe the ends. Perfect. So now the question about the ribbon closure. So I'm going to have this trim right here. I think it's too cute. And so I could do it on the very, very edge like this. That would absolutely be fine as well. So then with this, I could put a hole right here and thread it through there and then do a wrap around. But what I want with this is, I want to make sure that I get my tassels lined up. So I got extra. I knew I was 8.5 inch long, or 8 3/4, but I wanted to make sure I could line these up how I wanted. And I want the very center of this to not have a tassel on it because of the ribbon I'm wrapping around. And I got both the trim and the ribbon from Joann. This is actually really close to 9. Okay, so right there, I'm marking that with a gel pen. Right there on this, I want to make sure there's no tassel right over the center. So that would be right there like that. That would be perfect. But see how it's a little short here, so I'm going to move it over one like that. Okay, here we go. I'm centering this so that I can actually see a little bit of the kraft-tex through that trim there. Oh, that is so cute. Adorable. Oh, that is so pretty. I just wanted something colorful like that, and I think that is really making me happy. Okay, so the next thing is I am going to put an eyelet right here to hold my ribbon. And I think these wide eyelets might be great. And I just want to kind of look at colors because this would really blend in too much maybe. I would love to have this green color, but I don't. Well, let me put this here and see what I think with this. I think I'm going to go with this one. I need to reset my punch here to A1. So it's between these right here. Let's see how far back this is going to go, right there. Oh, perfect. Okay. Now, the question is, do I want to do this like this? I really think that I want to go ahead and trim it lengthwise. So how long does it need to be? So, assuming I'm going to have that, I want to come around and do it here. Have enough to spin around, tuck. Okay, I just guessed about 44 inches. I think I'm just going to trim it down the middle. Okay, let me measure 44 inches. Now, the one side is sort of frayed, but the one I just cut is not. But I believe that in time and from movement, it will resolve that issue, and the other side will be just as frayed as the side that was pre-frayed. So here's what I was thinking. So I'm going to tie a knot on this side, and if it's not enough to stop the ribbon from going through, then I will like tie a bead or something onto it, and that will stop it from going through. Okay, that's good. Alrighty. So here's what we have. I've done this on one of my other projects, and I used a button right here to wrap this around. So you can go through your button stash and see what you have, or you can make your own. Now, this is really cute. This would be really cute. Sewing Mends the Soul, if I could get that attached on there. So what I was thinking was to layer several pieces of cardstock together in a circle the exact same size. And you could do it with a die. You could trace something, you know, like I have dies here. They have a little dotted, you know, like stitch line on it, which is kind of cute. This might be too big, but this one might work. I want to see. So I'm looking at sizes here. This one's probably too small. I'm going to go with this one right here, which is the middle of all the sizes. And I'm going to cut several pieces of cardstock, and then this one will be my top one. Okay, so I have those. These are good weight cardstock. So I have these 3 plus this one. I'm just going to layer them up right now. And I do want to use liquid glue. So what I'm going to do basically is make a giant faux button. Okay, that feels really good. Very good. Now I need 2 holes in here to thread that through, and I want it to look like a button. So I'm going to cut one more that's a scrap paper. And in order to get good hole placement, I'm just going to fold it in half and in half again. I have this cross section, and you probably can't tell, so I'm going to draw that out so you can see it better on video, hopefully. That's what I did because that's going to help me with my hole placement. I'm just going to measure out, let's see how far I want this, 1/2 inch from each, there we go, 1/2 inch from each, up from the center. Does that look too big, too far apart? It's too far apart. Let's do 3/8 inches. And that is my hole placement guide. Now, I know in order to get my ribbon through, I need to use the big hole. This is the beauty of having this, is that it cuts through chipboard. So what I've essentially done here is made a chipboard button. And I am not putting eyelets in there because, like I said, I want this to look sort of like a button, and I think it really does. And you could distress the edges if you want, you know, bring out the color a little bit. You could also put something like a sealer on it. You know, if it's going to get wet, you might want to put a sealer. I probably will. I'll probably use this, a duraclear, and I will do that. So then I will show you how this all gets assembled. I put 2 coats of the Duraclear Ultra Matte Varnish. You can use any kind of sealer. You could even use triple thick, which would make it nice and shiny. And I also did some distressing around the edges with the peacock feathers. So again, a button is totally optional. You don't even have to use a paper button. You can use a real button. So I want to grab this, come up through the bottom, and then back down my other hole here. Okay, so I want that right about there. So when I come down, now all I have to do is wind it around the button. And I don't need this much, but I wasn't sure how much I needed. So that is one way to make a closure. Now, the other option, as I said before, is I could use this. And I want to peel it off and see what I think. Now I have this lump there from the ribbon, and I could put this right over there. It is also very, very cute. Oh, I love both ways because this looks like a button, but then this, I'm just going to lay it there. How cute that just adds so much to the project. I would need to really glue this on well because, like I said, this is raised up. I may have to use a little foam on either side and get that on there. I think I will do it, but I just wanted to give you some options. You can embellish it. You can put something over this. To cover it, it's up to you. The problem about sealing it and gluing it down to this is now, once I do that, I can no longer slide this button on the ribbon, meaning let's say the book got really fat and I needed to move the button maybe further this way to accommodate that. I wouldn't be able to. So right now I'm pretty loose here, and I feel pretty confident that this is a good location for me. And I will probably maybe just put a knot here and then cut off the end, or just cut off the end. So I am going to do this. So, you know, we have to make these snap decisions sometimes on video. What I'm going to do is add some foam tape on either side of this to give this more of a foundation to sit on. And I'm going to add Fabri-Tac right on that ribbon. Pull these tapes off. Oh, I think I'm going to like that a lot. I think it just adds another layer of creativity. Another thing, I'm going to use pinking shears at an angle. Cute. I had a thought about that I would like to have a bookmark in here. So let me show you. For on the calendar, I'm okay with not needing a ton of paper clips, etc. But on the in my calendar, I like to have a quick bookmark to show me what page I'm on. And so I was thinking about my tape measures. This is a vintage cloth one from when they still made them in cloth, and I thought, how cute would that be to make that my bookmark, that it's hanging down like that from my project. What I thought was I could actually cut it off and glue it to the back of my journal like this, so that it would just fold down over whatever page I am. But if I do that, then I can no longer use it. So I thought I would attach it to a paper clip. I have a chunky paper clip right here, and I thought I could run the end of this through here. I have to see how long I want this. So assuming that I attach this to the back, or it doesn't have to be that way. I just had another thought. No. Let's just, which end has I already cut this end off for a craft project. This end still has the metal in it. I think what I might do is go ahead and put it through this end, and that way it will just clip onto whatever page I'm on, for instance, like that. But still, this end will hang down. I just need to see how long I want it to hang down. That's a bit long. I like having that first 1-inch thing showing. That is perfect right there. Let me cut off the end here, and I will glue that in place. And again, this is a cloth measuring tape, so I am going to use Fabri-Tac. Now I got extra Fabri-Tac on there, and as I rub it off, it's taking off some of the ink on the back. So I'm just going to let that air dry. Then I'm going to put some baby powder on that, and that will prevent it from sticking to my pages. Oh, that's going to be perfect for what I want. So now all I need to do is open this up to January. And the benefit, I want to say, the benefit of doing what I suggested before and actually putting it on the back page this way and having it drape over is that you don't have to move it. All you have to do is lift up the strip here so you can see your page instead of removing the actual paper clip. I hope that makes sense. But you can see, as it is now, I can see what's going on my calendar. That is going to make me really happy. I love that. I think that did exactly what I needed it to do. So we're going to bring this around. And the only thing that I have left to do, if I want, is to make a charm to hang there. And I probably do. So I will be thinking about that, and if when I do a charm, I will add it to this series so that you can follow with me and see how that came out. I just think this is lovely. And when I make that charm, I will make a complete flip through of the entire planner for 2021. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I just think this has been really what I need for 2021 to really give me the boost and enthusiasm I have for the year. The other thing that I want to do on all of my journals, starting this year and moving forward, is I want to put my word for the year in here somewhere. So I will figure that out as well. And then I will tell you how I got my word for the year into my journal.